Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. I'm Danesha of Classified Life, and if you're watching this, that means you're interested in making your own clothes just like I do. So today we're actually discussing pattern 5628 by Simplicity. It is a caftan pattern that I recently made, and when I posted it over on Instagram, it went off. See, I told you it went off. And honestly, the pattern is wonderful, but for me, it needed a little razzle dazzle. It needed some Danesha in it. So I added ruffles, and I've decided to show you guys how to do that. But this is also a prep video for a live sew along coming up July 19th at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time that I will be doing with LaShuan of Let's Get Social. We're going to go live. We are trying to make sure that everyone is prepped and ready so that we can all make a caftan in less than an hour. So make sure you watch this video in its entirety and make sure you have everything prepped and ready to go, and then join us at 7 p.m. on July 19th. Okay guys, so we will be working with Simplicity 5628. This pattern comes in one size, and then as we make it, there are options for 4 different sizes: small, medium, large, and extra large. I will, however, say that when making this pattern, if you want it to be a little smaller, you do have that option. And if you need more room, you also have that option because the caftan extends pretty far. So this is the stitching line for a size small, but you can move it out medium, large, extra large. And if you wanted more room or if you wanted to take it in, that is an option. So the pattern also comes in 2 lengths, length 1 and length 2, and I will be making the longer version. Now on the back of the pattern, it tells you how much fabric you will need for this particular pattern. If you are going to do view 1, which is the shorter version, the most you'll need is 2 1/4. And if you're going to do view 2, the longer version, the most you'll need is 3 1/2. And I would just get that, okay? If you're using 60-inch wide fabric, then you'll need a little less, but just to be safe, 2 1/4 or 3 1/2. Outside of the fabric that you will need for your pattern, you will also need additional fabric for the ruffles. You can see here that I used the same exact fabric, but this time around I decided to switch it up, and I'm actually going to use organza for my ruffles. I will say that depending on what type of fabric you're working with, you need to bring a lot of patience to this project because, of course, silky, slippery fabrics like organza and silk take a little more time and a little more patience, but it is well worth it in the end, okay? So let's go over the pattern pieces, what you need to cut, and then we'll get into the ruffles. So again, this is only 4 pieces. You have the back facing for the neckband, the front facing for the neckband, and then we have our 2 bodice pieces, which is just your front and back. Make sure you transfer your markings, okay? So that's the notches and the stitching line. I'm going to show it to you on the pattern piece. Okay, so this is the front piece, and this is where the stitching lines are that I was talking about. This is for small, medium, large, extra large. To transfer that particular marking, I actually used wax-free tracing paper. I recently discovered this, and it is a game changer. So all you'll need is the wax-free tracing paper and a tracing wheel. I'll link that below. And if you need to see a quick tutorial, I will provide a link also in the caption for you on how to use non-wax tracing paper and a tracing wheel to transfer those markings. Another quick tip is, I know for me, I don't always keep the pattern piece with the fabric like I did for the neckbands. So on the bodice, if you ever get confused when it's time to sew and you can't remember which is the front or the back, if you have transferred your notches, this is one way to always tell the front from the back. On the back piece, it is a double notch. So I have clipped 2 notches. And on the front, it's a single notch. And so anytime you're sewing, that's how these commercial patterns go. Single is usually the front, double the back, and then sometimes they do double and triple. But the less is the front, the more is the back. Got it? Okay. All right, so moving on to the ruffles. This part took a lot of math, but I'm going to break it down for you, okay? Okay, so the length for the longest version, which is view 2, measures at approximately 55 inches. Now that's just down the side, but because we're putting ruffles around the entire front and back, we're going to double that number to 110 inches. I want my strip of fabric that I'm using for the ruffle to be approximately double that. So that'd be 220 inches, right? So this is what I did. I bought 2 yards of the fabric that I'm using for my ruffles. This time I'm using organza. And I took the 2 yards and cut it into strips, okay? Each strip was 9 inches wide. I'm going to show you that. Here's one strip. In length, it is 2 inches. In width, it is 9 inches. I join all 3 of these together, and that, with proper math, is 216 inches, aka 220, right? Right. So now we have one continuous strip of fabric for our ruffle. I took that strip and I folded it in half. I then took it to my sewing machine and used my longest stitch, which is 5.0 on my machine, for a gather stitch. Now, because I'm using such a lightweight fabric, the regular thread is going to be perfect for gathering up my fabric. However, if you're using something thicker, you might want to consider 2 rows of gathering stitches, or even trying the yarn method where you zigzag across the yarn and use that to gather your fabric much quicker and efficient, okay? So this is kind of what my fabric is looking like gathered up, but you don't even need to get this far. You don't need to start gathering because we will do that as we're pinning it to the fabric. But what you do need to have are your long strips for your ruffles ready to go, and all 4 of your pattern pieces before the live sew along, okay? Now, if you don't want to do the ruffles and you just want to join the live sew along, well, then you'll be finished before most of us, okay? And if you do want to do the ruffles, then you want to prep your 2 pieces and have them ready, have the gathering method that you're going to use already done. So whether that's going to be thread or yarn, make sure it's already on there and ready to go so that we can make this gorgeous caftan in less than an hour on live. All right, so if you're watching this after July 19th, that means the live is already posted and you can find it linked below. And if you do decide to give it a classified touch, aka the ruffles, be sure to tag me at Classified Life so I can show you some love and see the end results. Thank you for watching this video. Be sure to like, subscribe, and turn on post notifications for all things classified. I'll see you next time.